Today I'm going to show you guys how to control the Volca Drum with an external keyboard. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and be sure to check out my upcoming free live stream concert, Freebeat Live, 1 year later. It's on Saturday, July 31st at both 11 a.m. Pacific Time and 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Also, if you'd like the chance to have your music featured in the show, just click the link in the description below. Hope to see you there. Let's get started. So today we are back at the Volca Drum. I'm very excited. I picked this thing up a couple weeks ago and very shortly after got the circuit tracks, which sort of stole the spotlight from this thing. But I'm very excited to be back at the Volca Drum. And I figured today would be a great day to show you guys how to hook up an external MIDI keyboard to control the Volca Drum, and also show you both of the MIDI modes that the Volca Drum uses to communicate. So yeah, let's get a brief cable explanation here. This right here is power to the Volca Drum, just going to the wall. This right here is the headphone out, which is just going into my audio interface. This right here is the power for my keyboard controller, which in this case is the Arturia KeyStep 37. And we will also need one more cable, which is just a very standard 5-pin MIDI cable, which we are going to take and plug into the MIDI in of the Volca Drum, and then plug into the MIDI out of the KeyStep 37. So before we go any further, I do need to say that you should be on the latest firmware version of the Korg Volca Drum. If you don't know how to upgrade your firmware, I do have a little tutorial on that. So I will link that in the description. It's super easy though. And of course the firmware is free. So pause this video, go upgrade your firmware if you haven't yet, come back, and yeah, let's keep going. So by default, the Volca Drum launches into MIDI mode 1 through 6. So let's power on the KeyStep 37 here, and I'll show you what MIDI mode 1 through 6 means. MIDI mode 1 through 6 means that the Volca Drum is looking to receive information on channels 1 through 6, and each channel is going to correspond with parts 1 through 6 on the Volca Drum. So right now on the KeyStep, we're on channel 1. All of my keys are going to be the part 1, which is that kick drum sound. If I go to MIDI channel 2 on the KeyStep, now you can see via the flashing light there that we are on part 2 of the Volca Drum. Same by moving to MIDI channel 3, we're on part 3. MIDI channel 4, MIDI channel 5. That delay. And MIDI channel 6. Also, as you can probably tell, the Volca Drum still does remain monophonic, so you can't play 2 notes at once. You can get some pretty tight like flams in there, but you can't play them both at the exact same time. And also, playing the different keys on the keyboard does not give you different pitches on the Volca Drum. Those do have to be sequenced in, again, on the latest firmware, and then pitch quantized using a feature that was included in that firmware. So 2 kind of limitations there, but it's still a very cool way to control the Volca Drum. However, what's even cooler is the next MIDI mode I'm going to show you, which is just an individual MIDI channel mode. So to get there, we're going to turn off the Volca Drum. Now, with the Volca Drum completely off, we're going to hold the record button and then hold power to turn it back on. You're going to see the screen says MIDI 1 through 6. Which, like I was just talking about, that's the MIDI mode we were just on, where it corresponds a MIDI part to a MIDI channel, just like that. We want to set it to an individual MIDI channel. So if we tap any of the 16 keys, it's going to switch the MIDI channel directly to whatever number you press. If we toggle the same number again, it'll put us back into MIDI channel mode 1 through 6 like we were just on. But we don't want that. We can press it again. Now we're just on MIDI channel 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So let's go back and set it to MIDI channel 1. To save, we're going to hit the record button. It's going to boot up the Volca Drum. And now, if we jump over to MIDI channel 1 on our keyboard controller, and if we find middle C, we should be playing part 1 of whatever drum kit we have loaded into the Volca Drum. There we go, we're playing part 1. Now, to play part 2, it's as easy as jumping to the next white key, the D. Here comes part 3, part 4, part 5, and part 6. Now, one thing to note is that we're not actually changing what part is selected on the Volca drum. As you can see, we're simply playing them, but the selected part, which is this number down here, does not change. To do that, we do have to manually do it on the Volca drum. Of course, you can do it silently by holding function and doing it as well. So now that we have all 6 of our parts across these 6 keys, we can play them all at the same time if we want. But before we start playing in combinations, we should probably take a look at our choke groups. Choke groups basically allow certain sounds to cancel other sounds out when playing live. So or sequenced actually. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's hold the function button and press pad 8, which is choke. Any of the pads that have lights lit up are on a choke group. So let's go ahead and toggle all of those off. Press function again to get back to the main menu. And now we can play some sort of beat between these pads because none of them will be choking any of the others out. So there you go. Very, very cool stuff. A lot of fun. You can now play the pads just like you would like any other drum kit that's mapped to keyboard. I'm not the greatest finger drummer. I'm an okay real drummer, but not the greatest finger drummer. Let's have some fun. Let's go ahead and dial up completely random layers for all of our sounds here. So we'll go to sound 1, hold function, go to pad 9, which is randomize layer. Let's go to pad 2, do the same thing. Pad 3, do the same thing. Pad 4, same thing. Pad 5, same thing. Pad 6, same thing. So now let's try. Oh, I don't think we got pad 2. So let's go ahead and function, randomize layer. There we go. So there's sound 1, sound 2. Whoa, sound 3. Ooh, ouch. Sound 4, sound 5, and 6. I'm not sure if 5 got the treatment, so let's randomize that. And let's do 6. I keep hitting the wrong button. There we go. There we go. All right. Now we can have some fun. Just triggering random sounds and playing with the waveguide resonator. Sound 4, I want to affect the send. So you can see there's all kinds of just random generative fun you can have with these sounds and then just playing them on a keyboard. There's nothing really special about setting up a keyboard, but it just makes the experience of playing the drum pads and the different parts a lot easier in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you found it helpful as a brief little tutorial on how to use the 2 different MIDI modes on the Volca drum. If you did, be sure to leave a like on this video. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.